Welcome to Grey County Life on Rogers TV at home this week. And Charlie and I are on our own. Miss Mary Jane's off gallivanting during March break with some family members and enjoying some birthday fun. And we are going to miss her greatly because she is our organizer extraordinaire. But I think we're going to be okay. Bit of a kerfuffle this morning with my volume, but we're doing well now. Couple of things that we want to shout out just before we start with some lovely ladies from Chesley. On April the 3rd, between 6 and 8 p.m. at the Bay Shore, there's going to be an information session. And I'm trying to look it back up again on Facebook because that's where I found out about it. And it's with the police core team, the bylaw officers, and the program manager of Harm Reduction, Grey Bruce. So just some community information about how to keep ourselves and our family members safe. And I think it's going to be a little bit about drug addiction and what's going on in our community. So I don't know about you guys, but I certainly have family members that struggle with drug addiction. So it's I plan to be there. So that's on April the 3rd between 6 and 8 at the Bay Shore. Great opportunity for some information, maybe some helpful areas to pursue for help. Meals on Wheels. I know that we talk about that all the time, don't we, Charlie? But they do really need some help. We need some more volunteers. So if you have an hour a month, because that's all it takes, 1 hour out of the month, right around lunchtime, and you can deliver some nutritious, warm meals to people who are at home that can't do for themselves right now. And it helps keeps our people at home, which is where we want them to be. Also, the Chi-Chi-Mon. Yay, the Chi-Chi-Mon is going to start up again on May 5th, doing their treks across the water, and they're having their annual spring repositioning cruise on the May the 4th, which would be kind of fun. You could dress up in your Star Wars suits and have May the 4th be with you on the Chi-Chi-Mon. That would be a cool theme. So if you want, call for your tickets. They say they are selling fast. That's a very popular event each year. So, yeah, other than that, I think it's March break. It's a sunny Wednesday. Who knows what it'll be next week when we come back. But hopefully on April the 1st, it'll be nice weather because I believe we have Brenda Scott and Hazel Pratt here from the Chesley Hospital. And they are having a rally, I understand, ladies, on April the 1st. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Doing well.
Excellent. So I understand you're having a rally coming up. And why don't you tell everybody what's this about?
Well, in Chesley, we've, like many other small communities, we've had a problem with the number of times that our ER at our local community hospital is either closed or on reduced service. The Toronto, in an article, they revealed that there are a number of communities in Ontario having this problem. I think they suggested up to 100, but Chesley has the second most closures and reduced service in the province. And people in our community are very concerned about that. We're concerned about the ultimate impact on the viability of our hospital. And so that's what our rally is about. We're getting everyone together to show support for our hospital, our ER, our healthcare professionals, and our physician recruitment team.
Sounds like a great way to raise awareness and give community members a sense of control over the situation. I mean, how much, I don't know, I guess you're raising funds trying to help the situation as well?
We're fundraising just to pay our communication expenses. All of the work is being done by volunteers, but we have had printing expenses and such. We have brochures, We have posters that are up in local community businesses. We're having a lawn sign campaign, which is underway right now. And if people want a lawn sign, they can go on our website and ask us for one, and we'll deliver it. Anything we can do to help promote the day and spark interest in attending.
Yeah. So how did your committee get struck?
I'll address that one.
Yeah.
So last fall, there was a community meeting, and it was a capacity crowd in the Chesley Community Center, and everybody came out to hear what the future of the Chesley Hospital Emergency Department would be. It had been closed for a couple of months, and it did reopen early December, and it's been open since with a couple of closures, but it's only open business hours, 7 in the morning till 5 p.m. and closed on the weekends, which this puts a pressure on other hospitals that they get the people coming from our area. And our area covers a very large population. The municipality of Erin Elderslie, which includes a few small towns, Chesley, Paisley, Tara, but also the surrounding municipalities that also are affected, parts of the former Sullivan, Bentic, and Brant. And there's a lot of farming community. There's a large number of Amish and Mennonite families, and a lot of seniors that have moved to Chesley because of the services that are provided in the town. So it really affects a lot of people, and a lot of people are really concerned.
Yeah, well, rightfully so. And for goodness sakes, emergencies don't happen business hours. That is the real issue here. So, we will be watching your situation, and maybe we could get you back on to give us an update with the status of your ER and what's happening, because I think it's on everybody's mind these days is our healthcare systems and our emergency department. So we really appreciate you coming today. So your rally is on April the 1st between
2 p.m. Chesley Community Center.
At the Chesley Community Center. So you should get in there. Well, thank you very much, Hazel and Brenda. We wish you best of luck with the rally and going forward. Thanks so much for coming on today. And
Thanks for having us, and thanks to your co-host as well.
Thank you. And we'll be back.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Yo. Yep. Okay, I'll be there.
Every year, dozens of Canadians are killed or seriously injured because they take risks around railway tracks. Talk to your loved ones about rail safety. Visit stoptracktragedies.ca.
Welcome back to Grey County Life at Home on Rogers TV. Charlie and I are thrilled to be here this week, and it's a beautiful day outside, but we just, as we were talking with Brenda and Hazel from the Chesley Hospital Community Support Team, their rally is on April the 1st, at 2:00 at the Chesley Community Center. And we didn't get to mention, they're collecting signatures on a petition right now that they intend to present down at Queen's Park. And so you've got the option of doing that. And they are on Facebook. If you go on there and look for the Chesley Hospital Community Support, and they have a website. So that is www.chesleyhcs.ca. So yeah, very interesting to follow that and see how it goes. Because I mean, I know we feel like our hands are tied with our healthcare system sometimes, and that can be very frustrating. And having an ER that's only open during business hours does not make any sense whatsoever. It's like a clinic, for goodness sakes. But anyway, we'll follow up with them. But if you want to seek them out on their website or Facebook and head over to the rally, that would be great. And you can sign the petition. So right now we have a lady here, and she is pretty impressive, I gotta say. Darcy McLeod of Brickhouse Inspections. She's a home inspector here in our area, although her area, Darcy, is massive, which is par for the course when you live in Grey and Bruce. You kind of have to be able to get around, don't you?
You do, yeah. You've got to be able to service a lot of areas.
Yeah, you sure do. We'll have one of these up on the board for you, but Collingwood, Wasaga Beach, Dana, Tiny, Thornbury, Meaford, Chatsworth, Owen Sound, and surrounding areas. So you're all over the place, but you're a very specific service. So can you tell us, how did you end up in the home inspection business?
Well, I was working at a local engineering firm and working on culverts and bridge departments, writing reports and surveys and things, which were very specific. And it just wasn't fulfilling me. I felt micromanaged in this. It was just, it's hard to describe, but it was making me unhappy. And my husband, Ian McLeod, was friends with Bob Dunlop, who was one of the original partners of Carson Dunlop. So Carson Dunlop are the premier home inspection school in Canada and North America. And so he just said, go for it. He said, quit your job, go for it. So I went back to school at 50 years of age. And it was pretty intensive. It took almost a year. And but after that, I just started out slow. I started to promote myself, going to open houses. I'd had experience with homes before. I've renovated 9 homes of my own, 3 century homes. So I've had a lot of experience in the bones of homes and the things, that the components and how they work. And my husband's a contractor. So I got a lot of support and information from him on certain things. So I just started to promote myself and go to open houses and talk to realtors and build a relationship, get a good website, and trained, lots of training. So every year, continuous educations. I joined the Ontario Association of Home Inspectors. They're the only provincially recognized home inspection association in Ontario. I just felt that was a legitimate base to be associated with. I was a board of director for several years with them, and just gained a lot of support through that association with my business. And then it's just experience, just, inspection after inspection and training. So not only am I a professional home inspector, I'm a registered home inspector. So that's the highest level in Ontario you can get under OHI. And I'm also a commercial building inspector and a new construction inspector and a master certified inspector and a wet certified, so wood burning systems. And I've got a great group of tradespeople too that support me, that I can get help from in the heating and cooling system and the wet and all those things. So it's really, I've really grown my business as it's kind of like a little compound with a lot of support from other professionals. And I have worked super, super hard. As a woman, I'll tell you a quick little story so we don't go over time. I went to an open house and there was an older lady realtor there, very experienced lady, had been in real estate for 35 years. I introduced myself and she said, oh, we had a female up here once and she didn't make it, and I kind of I went, well, nice to meet you. And I went home and I cried, as girls do. I cried and I was so frustrated by that. And then I got mad and I said, that's not going to happen to me. And so in a predominantly male industry, I mean, I'm one of 3 active home inspectors that are female in Ontario that I know. It was difficult. Some other inspectors felt a little threatened or not as supportive, and then there were so many more that were so amazing to me. They became my mentors. They helped me, and I just grew from that. I grew personally from that. I grew in experience from that, and then it's all about the client. For me, I love to give information to people. I like to teach people. I like to talk to people. I like to communicate. And that's the biggest thing as a home inspector. You need to communicate. And I found that I've been able to do that effectively, explain to people what I'm going to do before an inspection, during the inspection, and after the inspection. So it's really a 3-part system that I follow. And I also follow our standards of practice. I'm very careful about wording, standards of practice, legality issues, all things that you have to be careful of, because if something goes wrong in a house, the first person the buyer calls is the home inspector. And I've had a few calls and never had any major issue, just been able to explain certain things to people. I think the key is that before an inspection, you have to explain to the client your limitations.
Yes.
We are generalists. We are not specific specialists. Unless there's a home inspector who's a certified electrician or a certified gas person, we are generalists. And what we inspect is a generalization of the home and its systems for the client. So we don't see behind walls. We can't predict leakage, but we have to look for clues, and we have to be careful and inspect professionally and make sure that we don't miss things that could potentially lead to an issue. So it can be a thin rope sometimes to walk on, but I'm really careful in what I do. I'm careful in my reports, and I know at night I can go to sleep and know I've done a good job.
Yeah, and it's, as you said, experience is so huge. I know over the years, I've been at several lots and loads of home inspections, and it's your experience and ability to go into a place and look and see things that first-time buyers would never, have the foresight to think, oh, this could be an issue, or that could be an issue, or this is signs of that occurring.
Right.
And it is experience and being able to identify these things. And it's the big issues that I try to explain to people too, that a home inspector, if there's something big, that's what you want to zone in on and make sure that you're getting a heads up. Structural issues, water damage. It's those big things that can be very costly after you buy a house.
They can. I think the key thing with that is to explain to the client at the beginning that you're looking for the big thing. You're looking for the elephant. As I say, there might be lots of little mice running around, like little things here, little things there, but we're looking for big issues. And so I tell clients that I don't comment on cosmetic issues. I don't comment on colors. And we have limitations. We don't move furniture. We don't move belongings. I just spent this morning before this meeting going through a series of little courses on my computer about claims against home inspectors and how to protect yourself from them, and pictures. I take probably an average of 150 to 350, depending on the size of the house, photos for every inspection, because that's your backup. If somebody comes back, one of the cases I was reading about is there was water damage, a leaking pipe, and they blamed the home inspector for missing it. Well, he went back to his photos, and there was a huge towel rack that was actually attached to the wall and had all the towels on it, and it had hidden this area. And he won that because he could prove that it was not really accessible or visible. So, but you still have to be really hyper diligent about looking. I look for clues. I look at trim, baseboard trim. If I see swelling or signs of seeing anything, I'll take my thermal imager out and I'll take my moisture meter out and I will hone in on that spot. And if there's no moisture, that's fine, but I'll still mention it because there may have been previous leakage and it may be seasonal, when snow melts. And so these are things that we have to write in our reports and explain to clients to be aware of. The biggest thing that they're telling us not to use now is the word monitor. So I try to avoid that at all costs now in any of my reports, because monitoring sort of gives the impression to the client not to worry about it. It's not a big deal right now. So if I see something now, I write it up as exactly what it is: previous water damage, previous leakage, correct. And I use that word correct, and I say as soon as possible, because I want them to take off that baseboard trim. I'm not allowed to do that. I want them to further investigate what's going on. There could be mold and mildew behind that. There could be, there could be a crack in the foundation that's not visible during home. So it's kind of a industry that we're in where you have to be able to communicate. You have to be able to write an intelligent report. I proofread my report sometimes twice, and I can say I've maybe made 10 grammatical errors in 8 years that I've been in business. And I don't mean that boastfully. I mean it because if you make a lot of errors in your report, how can a client trust you? If you can't spell, if you can't use wording correctly, then, it can sort of affect their confidence in you. So there's a whole, from your experience to the end, there's a whole process and which I'm very careful with. And I think that's why I have such a great group of realtors that trust me. And why, if you go on my website, you'll see, my Google, you'll see the reviews that I have. You can just read them for yourself.
For themselves.
Yeah, and I think they speak for themselves. So I think that's, and at the end of it, I love my job. I love what I do. I'm so fortunate. I wake up every day. I'm my own boss. I work, as much as I want. And my motto is my realtor's working, I'm working. I work 7 days a week if that's necessary. And then I take a break when I want. So I'm very lucky to have that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So do you find that in your communication with, say it's a husband and wife team, a husband who maybe doesn't have as much experience or doesn't know what he's looking at, you have to temper that with personality. It is always a juggling act as to, you don't want to clash with that personality.
And simple wording, Rhonda, like there are a lot of fellows, mostly men in this industry, that are engineers, and they use jargon that people don't understand. I use really simple terms, and I try to connect with my clients immediately. I ask them questions about themselves. I'll tell you a quick little story. I had a couple, a husband and wife on site, and I love to cook, so I'm always in the kitchen. It's my passion. And I made a comment about to the woman that she said, "We'll love this kitchen. Look at the systems." And I was just trying to, and she said, "I'm a sergeant major in the Army. I don't cook. My husband cooks." And so I never made that mistake again. That was about 5 or 6 years ago. So I always ask them, what's your expertise? Are you in any kind of a systems business? I try to get a feel for what their knowledge base is. Mm-hmm. And especially if they bring a mother or father, because a lot of home inspectors can be intimidated or offended by that. I try to bring them in. I'll say to the father, do you have any history in construction? He might say, "Well, I'm an electrician." I go, "That is awesome, because I would love to learn something from you today. If you see something that I may not, have the experience of knowing about, it makes me a better home inspector when I have someone who can." So there's a real craft to that, if I can say, about putting your client at ease. You as a realtor, you have a relationship with the client, sometimes months, sometimes years. I have 5 minutes at the beginning of my home inspection for those clients to get to know me and trust me right there on the spot. So you have to be confident, and you have to be low key, and be able. They need to understand you. cultural, language. I've had lots of clients that English is not their first language. So then you slow down, talk at a slower pace, use your hands, show them things so that they understand it more. You have to be able to adjust yourself, kind of like a chameleon almost. You have to be able to adjust to the situation so they understand it.
Yeah, absolutely. I do find, I mean, the best inspectors that I've ever dealt with are teachers by nature. They want to share this information and explain things. And, you know, you come away from it feeling like, oh, I really got something out of that connection. And that's what you want your home buyers to feel as well.
Absolutely. I think one of the best compliments I ever had, a mother and daughter, I had just finished my inspection. The mother hadn't said a word the whole time. And she looked at me and she said, I'm a teacher. And she said, you would be a fabulous teacher. And I took that as such a huge compliment because I'm not a teacher in my back, but like you said, we are here to teach and in a generalized way, not a specialized way, but in a generalized way, so that when the homeowner and the client buys the house and they're in and say, oh, Darcy showed us where that was, and she told us we had to change the filter. This is where it is, and you know the sump pump was supposed to test that, so that they protect the home that they've just bought. Because as it's in my information, it can be the biggest financial purchase they ever make in their lives.
Yeah.
And you want to be confident that they've made the right decision based not only on the realtor's expertise, but my report and everything that I've written about the home.
Yeah, it's a very gratifying career. And I think you're a shining example of women in business in Grey and Bruce counties. And it's a pleasure to have you today. Really appreciate you coming on and explaining some things and a bit of your background. It's very interesting. And you never know who you've inspired to go out there and throw their hat in the ring and go for it. It's a very inspiring story.
Thank you. And I am mentoring two new students, right? One is a lady and one is a fellow. So I'm also doing that. So I try to give it back as well for all the help that I received when I started. So now I'll be mentoring some new inspectors in the area. So
awesome. Well, we look forward to doing more business in the future, Darcy. Have a fabulous day, and thanks so much for joining us on Grey County Life today. And we'll be back after these messages with more Grey County Life.
Long way from Nashville, and mama, I tell you that. Performed from Montreal to Boston to Los Angeles. But Toronto, that's my chosen home. Sure, when I'm walking down Yonge Street, I see some funny people who have the nerve to point the finger at me. And grin and smile and whisper. My song was #2 on local radio. Sold 10,000 in Toronto alone. Turned down Ed Sullivan because they asked me to remove my makeup. Wouldn't do American Bandstand because of their segregation policies. I was just being me, never tried to explain myself to anyone. And besides, none of that to worry, Jackie, because I know I look good. Got a new way of loving, baby. Thought I want to teach it to you.
Jackie Shane was a pioneer transgender soul singer, a central figure in the Toronto R&B scene. She helped shape what we know as the Toronto sound.
Lovely viewers, it's your host of On the Couch, Antoine El Hashim, reminding you to tune in for every episode of Season 9 of the longest running and most loved local queer talk show on Rogers TV. Check it out.
Don't forget to join us on Grey County Life on Rogers TV next week. I have no idea who's going to be on the show, but it'll be a good one. Welcome back to Grey County Life at Home, and we have an extremely special guest. And I've got to say, Coco, I have enjoyed your music for a long time. And I know Mary Jane and I were thrilled when you agreed to come on today. And I know Mary Jane is going to be so darn mad that she didn't get to be here for this interview, for sure. Welcome to Grey County Life on Rogers TV, Coco.
Hi, Rhonda. Thanks for having me.
It is a complete honor. I have watched and listened to your music for such a long time, and just your creativity and personality when you're performing is just incredible. It's an honor to meet you, actually.
Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. I'm noticing that you're not alone, though. Who is that you have with you?
This would be Mr. Charlie Brown, and he is the semi-co-host of Grey County Life. When we went on Zoom meetings, we weren't able to go into the studio for a while there, as you're probably aware. I just thought, you know what? I liked having Charlie with me. So I just, So I did take him into the studio in September, we were back in the studio, and he did come in for an episode, and it was a little sketchy.
he went in for his training session.
Yes, that's about it. And I got sent home. But we're going to be back in the studio again when the weather clears and everything else. And we thought it'd just be kind of cool that we have the option of doing Zoom, and plus being in at the studio when the weather's good, because you know what it's like around here. I mean, goodness, we get blizzards every once in a while and shut down. And
the snow days my daughter has had this year.
Oh my gosh, it's like it's a rain day. It's like, seriously, it's raining, so we don't have buses. It's been quite humorous actually at our house too. We're within walking distance, so it's
right. Yeah. For me, I don't mind, because I'm here, so I'm just like, let's hang out.
Why not? And it's as we were saying, everybody's had to pivot the last few years, and it's been big changes. I do think a lot of them are quite positive. As I say, we get to bounce back and forth between Zoom meetings and in studio, which is pretty amazing, and it's flexible, which is kind of nice. And I see that you're doing the same things.
Yeah, I did a really big pivot. It just worked out that I had decided to try leading a local choir about 4 years ago. And I think I was feeling like I was doing some of the best concerts of my life. Great venues and great audiences. And I loved my band that I had 4 or 5 years ago. It was just like really great. But I was starting to feel just the travel part, that I wanted to be home more, and not that I never wanted to travel, but that I felt a little bit stuck in that had become my main source of income, was leaving home. And so I started the local choir, I guess 4 years ago, because I love singing with people. and I just thought, it'd be cool if I, did some of my income from home. And I started the choir, and then the thing happened 3 years ago. The thing happened.
The thing that we shall not name.
Yes, Voldemort. Voldemort happened. And so I moved my choir to weekly Zoom rehearsals. And then, I don't know, like 4 or 5 weeks in, I just realized, wait a second, I was traveling across Canada and doing concerts with choirs in other cities. So I've sung with lots of community singers all across Canada. I'm going to open up my Zoom choir. So I opened up my Zoom choir, and it's just been a beautiful 3 years. I run 2 Zoom sessions a week, Tuesday afternoons, Wednesday evenings, and I have singers from literally all over the world. I'd say probably like 70% Canada, 25% US, and then 5% the little smattering of my Wednesday evening sessions have a few people in New Zealand and Australia having their Thursday morning coffee.
Wow.
And my Tuesday afternoon sessions get a smattering of people across Europe, and it's after dinner for them.
Goodness. Wow.
Yeah.
And see, I didn't even realize that it was worldwide, but that's the beauty of Zoom and the connections that we can make and maintain through this.
Yeah. And even this session, I've got a couple of singers who normally sing from North or from like Canada or the States, but they say, oh, I'm down in South America for a month, or oh, I'm in Mexico, and they're tuning in. And I love it. But I'm also, the time feels right to sing again here in town. So starting up the local choir again. And I'm just so excited. There's new songs I've written this last few years that I've written for community singing that we've been singing on Zoom, but I've never heard with, in a room. So I'm just so excited about the local choir again.
Oh my gosh. So that is not Zoom. That is going to be in-person choir right here in Owen Sound.
Yeah. So a short spring run of 6 weeks, starting late March, going to late April. And it's at the Harmony Center on Monday nights. So if anyone wants to join us, you can find me. I'm easy to find. CocoLoveAlcorn.com or WonderlandSingers.com will find me. And probably if you go grocery shopping, you'll see the Wonderland Singers flyer up on the bulletin board.
At your local grocery store. Hey, you know what? It's pretty amazing to have somebody of your talent and caliber to be mentoring people and teaching them how to sing. Can anybody sing? I mean, I feel like myself, I have a terrible singing voice. I know this. So I've never ventured out. But I think it's Norm right.
Oh, now I want you in my choir.
Coco, you might not. You may regret that. But the director at the Georgian Bay Concert Choir says that anybody can sing. Is that, have you actually come across anybody who can't sing in your...
That's a hard question to definitively answer. I mean, obviously we've heard people that like sing really well, like Aretha Franklin and Rhiannon and, Adele.
Spectacular.
Yeah, Adele sings really well. And then we've heard some people who don't sing as well as Adele. Oh, I'm loving this rhyme here.
As Adele. Yeah.
But I would say that the average person is able to sing better than they think they can.
Oh,
that
answer.
I know for 100% sure. And I think most people can. So me personally, I don't teach vocal technique. I'm not teaching people how to sing. I'm trying to create an environment where we feel comfortable, we feel relaxed. It feels like a safe space to sing and to see what comes. And the fact that we are, if we can get to that place where singing feels fun and kind of turn off the part of our brain that's worrying about it, we'll actually have a greater chance of, we're probably going to have a more relaxed tone and be able to sing better than we think we can. So that's a part of my philosophy.
That is beautiful. I really like that. It's inclusive. And, I understand that completely. The idea of the dialogue we have in our own head is what holds us back.
We get in our own way.
Yeah.
And there can be all sorts of little stumbling blocks that we have stuck in there that have come from past experiences. Like, it maybe for some people, it only took one person, one time, 38 years ago who said, you can't sing or stop singing.
Turn it down.
Yeah. And you just go, whoa,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What you've hinted that you've got some new music that you're going to be sharing with your choir in person. Is there anything that we can do a little blurb of or a little snippet of, just to give people an idea of what's happening in your choir?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we're going to be doing a handful of songs this spring. 3 of them are new songs I've written the last few years. And actually, I can play you just a tiny bit of one thing. I've got my loopers here. This is how I run my Zoom choir. Everyone else is muted. And they're hearing like layers and layers of my voice to sing along with. But there's one song here. I can actually, this will just take like a minute or a minute and a half. I'm not sure, but it's called Holding My Heart. And it is, it's called a layer song. So I learned about layer songs through the world of community singing. Choir started singing some of my songs about 7 years ago, and I started traveling and guest singing with choirs all over the place. And I was visiting a choir in LA run by a woman named Maggie Wheeler, who also happens to be the actress on the show Friends, who played Chandler's girlfriend for years. You know, she was like, she talked like this.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh.
So after the Friends, era, she started a community choir in LA, and she's become a great friend of mine. She was one of the first choirs that picked up singing some of my songs. Anyway, I've been to visit her.
Oh my goodness.
I know, she's just one of the
The voice she had on that show is so contrary to actually being in a choir. So that is so funny.
I will let you know that that's not how she talks. There you go. And that's a perfect example of can everyone sing? You might hear that voice and go, oh, I wouldn't want to hear that sing, but she's a beautiful singer.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, anyway, I've visited her a couple of times and gone to visit her choir, and they do these layer song things. So the idea of a layer song is it's just, instead of a song written this way, where it's like a verse, a chorus, a verse, a chorus, like a linear arrangement, instead it's just arranged this way. There's short phrases of melody and lyric, and they can all fit together in any combination. So I have a layer song here. It's got 4 different phrases. You can hear each one individually or sing them all together, or combinations of 2 or whatever. Anyway, I'll just pretend we're in a little Zoom choir rehearsal here. But I'll just try to do this fairly quickly. I think what I'll do is I'll add the parts one at a time. So you start with one, and then you add a part, and then you add a part, and then you add a part. And I will sing the new part as it's coming in. And I'll do the choir director thing where I move my hands as I sing the notes. Okay. All right, here you go.
Okay, awesome.
But you'll have to actually, normally I'm very encouraging of people to sing along, but you'll actually have to hold yourself back and not sing along, only because of the latency issue.
Okay.
But I know you could sing this. And you would sound wonderful. Okay, here we go. Let me just find my note here. Okay, all right, here we go. I think I'll let each part run 2 times. If you're singing along at home, I'll lead each part as it comes in. Okay, here we go. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna wait for this to roll around here. Holding my heart open for you. I'm holding my heart open. Holding my heart open for you. I'm holding my heart open. Holding my heart open for you. I'm holding my heart it open. Holding my heart open for you. I'm holding my heart it open. Holding my heart open for you.
Oh my goodness, that is beautiful.
Oh, thank you. So I've been singing that on Zoom and I'm so
It's
excited.
beautiful. Oh my goodness.
I'm so excited to sing it with Owen Sound friends and neighbors.
Yeah, live and in person, and it's, oh my goodness. So when your choir, do you do a performance at the end of your sessions for the public to come and see, or to join, or anything like that?
I think like for this spring session, this is just a 6-week thing and we're just kind of coming back into it. So probably won't do one, but I basically, when I decided, okay, I'm going to start the in-person singing again, I said to myself, you'll just do a 6-week thing this spring. And then if you love it and it goes great, then you'll do another choir. Well, it hasn't even started yet, but I've already decided I love it. So I will do more choirs. I'll definitely do a fall choir and I might do a summer choir. And we've actually already had an offer to do a performance at the end of summer if I do a summer choir. So the answer is probably and yes, but
Yes.
not quite yet.
Not quite yet, but we're on the road there.
I mean, like the idea of a community choir is that you're involved in the community. So absolutely we would be, I don't think we'll be showing up at every single thing, but I love the idea that there will be this collection of humans and voices that can sing for people, with people, in places, and that it can grow and people can hear us and go, oh my gosh, I wanna be part of that. And yeah.
Well, Coco, you are a human who is much appreciated and very much someone I know as a community, we are very proud of you and your accomplishments and your incredible creativity and artistry. Thank you so much for coming on Grey County Life at home today.
What kind of show do you want to see on Rogers TV? What interests you? Log on to rogerstv.com, fill out a show proposal, and tell us about your segment idea. We want to know what you want to see. Rogers TV, only on Rogers.
It's about sharing and caring. It's about doing and belonging. It's about living life to its fullest. And it's about laughing out loud. We are L'Arche Canada, and we're about witnessing and sharing the gifts of all people. Learn more about us today.
October 5th, 2014, my daughter was hit by a train. She was walking along the sides of the tracks, and it shattered her world.
Rolling bumper. Welcome back to Grey County Life on Rogers TV. I'm one of your hosts this week, minus the fabulous Mary Jane, who's off gallivanting around and enjoying the March break with her family, and Mr. Charlie Brown. And Charlie is thrilled to see that we have a feline guest on our adorable Adoptables. Hi, Miss Renee. Who is this beautiful wee kitty?
Oh my goodness. She is so comfortable sitting here. It's the most awkward position for her to have her head like this, but she is like drooling down my hand. She's loving this chin rub. So I'm just going to keep going. This little lady is Luna, and Luna is only 5 months of age. I say only because the next part's exciting. She has been spayed and vaccinated, dewormed, defleed. All of her vetting is done, and she's been indoor only. So basically, she's the perfect little cat for absolutely anywhere. She gives you the kitten option without some of the expense of the kitten option, because we've done that for you. You're welcome. She's already had her training as far as the litter box goes, so it's the advantage of not having to deal with that either. And additionally, she's going to be around a really long time. We like to say to people, if you want a kitten but are concerned about those expenses, this is your opportunity to do that. You still get the playfulness, you still get the funness, you get the love bug, the whole starter stuff without those other things. I mean, you won't have to worry about making your appointments to get those things done, which is super inconvenient. And also you save the expense. It's one of the bonuses. With these little guys, when they're little tiny baby kittens, people really, really want them because they're super cute. And then they get a little bit in this awkward stage and people less want them. And so the spay is our incentive. I mean, it's the bonus. It's the bonus you get. Now, in saying that, this kitten could have probably found a home anyway, because like, look at her. She is quite content to sit. She is absolutely a lap cat. And I have to admit that if I were to put her down and wander away, this is the cat that's going to follow me, trip me, try to climb me. She wants help. She wants backup. She is the cat that wants to do exactly this, and she'll make you. She will trip you until you pick her up. No, I'm just teasing. She will though. I don't know if that's a selling feature. She is good with cats. She has been in a home with multiple cats. She's been pretty good with dogs. Now, if they go at her real fast, she'll run because, of course, dogs are scary. But if they take their time, she's good with the love. She will rub up against them. She'll let them lick her and cuddle her, and she's just fine. She just loves love, don't you? And also would be fine with children. Some of our kittens are a little squirrely and they don't sit still and they get scratchy and spitty. Not this case at all. She would allow them, although I have to be cautious when I say this, she would probably allow them to dress her up in funny little costumes and put her in a stroller and do all of those things that cats like to do with children, or children like to do with cats. I always say, that with cautious, please do that carefully. We don't ever recommend you scare the heck out of your poor cat, but she would tolerate it, and I think in her case she'd actually kind of like it. As I said, she likes to be handled and touched. She doesn't have any objections to being manhandled. So I think that perhaps if you have children, this is one that you should consider, especially if those children are at that stage where the cat becomes part of the game, because it's a whole lot of fun. Yeah. Some of those bigger cats don't tolerate it. They'll scratch or bite or run away. This little lady likes it, don't you? Hey, we could get you a wardrobe. You could come with your own clothes. What do you think?
And she's a tabby cat.
She is. We actually call this a Torby. Here's some fancy terms for you. A tortoise shell is your spotted brown, black, orange. And she has tiny little orange spots on top of her tabby. You just got to really look for them. So in theory, she's actually a Torby, which is your tortoiseshell tabby mix. Whoa, fancy, right? Yeah. She's a pretty little brown cat.
She is really pretty and just
She has a very delicate, I want to say like the Egyptian cats, that you saw in the tombs. I think she should be sitting on the top of a pyramid. In fact, her name Luna should be changed to something more exotic, I think, because she's very, very unique. It's those big ears for me, right? Yeah.
Yeah, she is quite lovely.
Where are you going? My arm is asleep, so I hope you're going somewhere close by. Yeah, because I can't feel you. No, there you are. Yeah, this little soft spot under her chin here too is I don't know if you can see it. I'm trying to like zoom in on it, but it's like white, but it has a little bit of peach like under here, which is really quite pretty and fancy. Definitely should be standing on a pyramid. That's all I see. Yeah.
Yeah, she is gorgeous.
Yeah. You're giving me a fun face. Yeah.
I was wondering, with the wonky weather that we've had, flea and tick season. Is it, I'm thinking that with the weird weather that we've had, that our crops are going to have an odd start to perhaps be affected. What about fleas and ticks? Like, they're dormant during the winter?
Well, they normally are. I like to say we've had a very different winter, and I have had cats and dogs coming in with fleas all winter long. Unfortunately, not as much as we see in the summer, but it's still happening. And if you are not on some sort of preventative medication, your pet, it's time. Do it now. Don't wait until it gets out of hand, because it's starting early. Yeah, unfortunately. Yep.
So what would you recommend? Like for Charlie Brown, what would I give him to protect him from fleas and ticks?
Yep, the monthly application products, either orally like the Brevecto or on their shoulder blades, like the Advantage. Don't use the cheapy pet store type. Old school Zodiacs or the Hearts. Those products don't work as well as they used to. Nothing against the company. They're just the fleas are tougher now. Go with the newer products. The newer products are the most effective, and definitely do a regular cycle. Don't just bath your dog and think it's been taken care of. Put something on them that will last a month or more, because those little fleas are stinkers, and they're stronger than they've ever been.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
They really are.
Yeah, that's good advice. So once a month treatments. That sounds like a good plan for Mr.
Yeah,
Churn.
absolutely. I would say if you have access to the Advantage or the Revolution, those are the products I use at home, or the Brevecto oral tablets, which I give my dogs because it's quick and easy. But
is it better on their skin?
It doesn't seem to affect them in any sort of way, which is good. I mean, once you get those fleas in the house, it's very unpleasant for months. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, don't do it. Just don't do it.
All right. Well, thank you, Miss Renee, for the
You're very
adorable
welcome.
adoptions, and I'm sure Miss Luna will be scooped up to a nice family home pronto. She's so pretty. Thanks everybody for this week, and we'll see you next week on Grey County Life, Rogers TV at home.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
Today, I helped a parent feed their family by connecting them to a food program.
Today, I helped someone connect with mental health supports.
Today, I helped a couple struggling to pay their bills access financial aid.
Every day, 211 navigators connect Canadians to critical government and community programs and services.
211. Help starts here.